You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, Days fans. Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I want to talk to you about a huge incident next week with pregnant Chanel Dupree that could change everything for her and Johnny DiMera, even as they're getting ready to leave Salem to head to LA for him to take that job to get his big break in Hollywood filmmaking. Let's dive into these spoilers, but if you're not following us already, we would love it if you click subscribe. So if you didn't know it already, Raven Bowens and Carson Boatman, who play newlyweds Chanel and Johnny, are getting ready to leave the soap for a short stint. Eli Grant, Lani Price, and their twins Jules and Carver are back for the 2-year wedding anniversary of Paulina Price and Abe Carver on Juneteenth, and it turns out Lani's on hand for her little sister Chanel's Bon Voyage party as she's getting ready to leave Salem to follow Johnny to LA, where he's trying to make his dreams come true. But before they make it out of Salem, there is a pregnancy problem. Now, you know, if you're current on episodes, Johnny and Chanel have consulted a high-risk specialist, and they've been getting lots and lots of tests done. The big concern is that when Paulina had that radioactive iodine treatment for her thyroid cancer, she was supposed to be in isolation for a few days until the radiation risk died down. Unfortunately, that's when Chanel wandered off and got lost in the snow outside the Horton cabin on, I think it's Smith Island. So as one does, Paulina commandeered a snowplow and went to rescue her daughter. Chanel might have died of exposure if her mom didn't do that, but now her unborn baby is at risk of birth defects. Chanel was very angry at first. Johnny was frustrated, and EJ DiMera was absolutely irate. Part of the reason he is calling for her to be pulled back as mayor, although he has stopped with that war cry. Chanel has since come around because she realizes her pregnancy wouldn't have worked out if she had frozen to death out in the snow either. And Chanel is very insistent that she is keeping this pregnancy despite the risks of the accidental radioactive exposure. And she gets really annoyed whenever EJ drops hints. Actually, they're kind of more than hints. He's basically outright suggesting that she terminate the pregnancy. But as of their last test, everything still seems fine with little unborn baby DiMera, strong heartbeat, no signs of complications, but everything goes off the rail next week, given a new spoiler for Wednesday, June 26th and Friday, June 28th. So next Wednesday, a week from today, Chanel starts having cramps, and she is very scared. Her mother, Paulina, and her husband, Johnny, are also very concerned, and they make sure she gets the medical attention she needs. So I'm sure they're going to rush her over to University Hospital, and we've got the handsome new doctor. We've got Kayla, all kinds of people there, Sarah, that could help her. Will their baby survive? So out of just curiosity, because I'm a research girl, I did go look at the real life risk of this type of radioactive material and whether it increases the chances of miscarriage. And from what I saw, there does not seem to be an enhanced risk of miscarriage. Some studies show there's not even a enhanced risk of birth defects. Other studies show there is. There's basically not enough data for it to be conclusive, is what it looks like. Especially for accidental exposure like this, they generally don't recommend that women that are pregnant undergo that kind of treatment out of an abundance of caution. So that also does not mean Days of Our Lives is not going to do what they want and not worry about the reality of the science. I mean, it'd be pretty upsetting if Chanel and Johnny get all these positive test results and then they lose the baby anyway. And given EJ's pessimism and ongoing concern about the pregnancy, you know, he might be relieved about it. But if something happened, Johnny and Chanel would be devastated. And so would Paulina, who is blaming herself for all of this. So that brings me to the other spoiler for next week that has me concerned. On Friday, June 28th, Paulina is racked with guilt, and Abe is right there at her side trying to comfort her. And that sure sounds like it might be bad news. Now, whether it's just complications, whether it's a miscarriage or it's just very serious scare, any of that could cause Paulina to feel guilty. But no matter what happens with Chanel's pregnancy, she and Johnny are slated to leave Salem for a month or two. That's because actor Carson Boatman was out on paternity leave starting around Christmas 2023 for many weeks. And since they shoot 6 to 7 months ahead, that's why we are just seeing what Days of Our Lives wrote to cover his leave of absence. And hopefully this story has a happy ending. It was kind of interesting. EJ talked a lot about their baby, Johnny and Chanel's baby, being so close in age to baby Jude. You know, they can hang out and all that. But of course, that's a baby that EJ stole from Eric Brady. And that bit of information is what has Stephen DiMera blackmailing EJ because he found the test results in the safe. But with Nicole leaving in about 5.5 weeks, I'm assuming she's going to take Jude with her. And that means if Chanel's pregnancy remains viable, her and Johnny's kid will be the only tot in the DiMera mansion. So that's kind of interesting. Let me know what you think about these spoilers. Are you worried about their baby? Do you think that something's going to happen? Do you think Days of Our Lives is about to give us a tragedy and then Chanel and Johnny leave town under a cloud of grief and depression and Paulina is stuck there feeling guilty? Because of course she is feeling guilty already, but if Chanel loses the baby, she will be absolutely devastated, as any mother would be for doing something like that. But I think we all would jump in the snowplow, right? I would. To save my kid? Sure. All right. Drop your comments on what you think about this storyline twist. Definitely subscribe if you have not already. And be sure and come back soon. This is Belinda from Soap Dirt, and we are right here talking Days of Our Lives 7 days a week. So definitely come back soon, and thanks for listening.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.